All right,
Okay.
we are now recording and we may begin.
All right. I will call this meeting to order. It's a special meeting of the Glendale-River Hill School Board on May 15th, 2025. Roll call. Katie Avalos.
Here.
Karen Cronwell.
Here.
Carla Pennington Cross is here. Danielle Bailey and Chris Robinson are excused, but we do have a quorum. I would remind people, if you're not speaking, if you can, try to keep your mic muted so we don't get feedback loops. Do we do the Pledge of Allegiance when we are online, Zooming? We do, right?
Yeah, I have it on their agenda tonight.
Okay, so if you would like to say the Pledge of Allegiance, you may join us in doing so at this time.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you, everyone. Moving on to item 1D, agenda approval. Is there a motion?
Move to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second.
All right, so with a motion by Karen Cronwell and a second by Katie Avalos, motion to approve the agenda. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
That motion passes. Are there any members of the public in the waiting room or anywhere? I can't. Your mic is off.
I have 2 attendees. I do not see any questions in the chat.
Okay, so at this time, we're on to item 2A. If any visitors who are with us would like to make any public comment and make any comments on non-agenda items, you may do so at this time. Nothing. All right, moving on to item 4A, which is the only substantive item on this agenda. Hold on, let me find what I've printed. What's before us is a recommendation to approve the insurance plan for 25-26 per the memo provided by Michelle Brown.
I move to approve the 25-26 insurance plan as presented.
I'll second.
All right, with a motion by Karen and a second by Katie, I'll hand it over to Anna and Michelle for discussion.
Okay, the insurance plan, we're currently with UHC. And I'll just briefly go over the information provided to you. We were quoted an increase of over 15%. That was down a little bit from what they originally quoted us and still higher than what we had budgeted for. So we asked them to come back with some plan alternatives. They did have some alternative plans with UHC, but those would have had for our tier 1 and tier 2. Tier 1 would have been covered, very similar to what they are now, but tier 2 would have been 50% out of pocket for co-insurance for people on that. So the difference in the 2 tiers were the providers, the hospital systems in those networks. So we had some Anthem plan options. We are allowed to go with different plans. Different plans have different networks. So in order to provide plans that would cover the networks our staff are in without needing to change those networks, we can offer 2 plans, one with one network and one with another. The benefit to the Anthem plans over the UHC plan that we're currently on is that prescription drugs goes towards the same deductible as the other items, medical care, and towards that maximum out of pocket. So people are not needing to meet both of those. The max increase would be 9.88%, and that is if every member were to take this plan. So we currently have 97 people, 97 employees on the plans. Some taking single, some taking family. So in the cost estimates that I provided to you, those are the premiums that we were quoted. I put in there the enrollment as if everyone were on that plan. So the higher cost plan is the Anthem Blue Preferred Plus Blue Access Plan, and that would have a deductible of $2,500 single, $5,000 family, maximum out of pocket $5,000 single, $10,000 family, and then a coinsurance of 20%. So that's the higher cost plan, and I did a calculation if everyone took that plan, and that would be an increase over our current rates of 9.88%. And I believe it's a better plan. I had several people, we looked at it, and we believe it's a better plan than what people currently have with that drug coverage. The other plan is the Anthem Blue Priority Wisconsin POS plan that has a deductible of $2,000 single, $4,000 family, $5,000 maximum out of pocket for single, and $10,000 maximum out of pocket for family. And that plan, if everyone were to take that, that would be a 0.22% decrease in our current rates. So depending on who takes what plan, the maximum we would see is a 9.88% increase over current year rates, or current year total cost, I should say. And then the district currently offers an HRA, $1,000 for employee coverage and $2,000 for employee plus family coverage. And I've been using single and employee, or you can use either of those. And then family would be also employee plus family coverage. So nothing would change with that. We're recommending continuing with that 1,000 employee coverage and 2,000 employee and family. We offer a flexible spending account. Currently, that's through United Healthcare. And then COBRA requires employers to allow eligible plan members to continue coverage at their expense for a specific period after initial loss of coverage, if they're eligible for that. That currently is administered by United Healthcare as well. So with those, UHC will no longer provide these services. So we also received quotes for that, one from Employee Benefit Corporation and one from Diversified Benefits. Both are solid companies doing business with school districts and other employers across the state and probably in other locations as well. EBC's quote came in slightly lower than Diversified Benefits. So we also have history and positive experiences with EBC in the past. So we would recommend going with EBC to administrate the health reimbursement arrangement, flexible spending account, and COBRA. And then on our dental, the renewal premiums came in for Delta Dental at a 4% increase, for an increase of $7,579, an annual rate of $197,004.60, and that's based on our current enrollment numbers. Anthem Dental had a similar plan with different networks, which could require our employees to find different providers. Some dental services that they didn't have very many or none at all in the area for different dental services. Anthem did offer, if we go with their health insurance and also their dental and vision, to provide a discount. The plan that would be similar to ours was, roughly a $20,000 increase over the other plan. We didn't feel that the changes in the network in the coverage, we felt that that would limit our providers and maybe not worth the cost for that. And then vision came in 14,330.76. Similar, Anthem quoted a similar plan with, again, different providers and lower benefits. So administration is recommending going with Delta Dental, continuing with them for these costs. And then the district uses, for years, has used National Insurance Services, Madison Life Insurance Company for long-term disability and life insurance. And that over the last 4 years, the experience has been over what we've paid in premiums. So they are giving us a rate increase of 29 cents. And the rate increase to 29 cents, a 3-cent rate increase. Currently, it's 26. And this covers employees' pay up to a certain dollar amount. And then there were no changes in the life insurance rates. So we recommend continuing contracting with National Life Insurance Services, Madison National Life Insurance Company for long-term disability and life insurance. Any questions?
Karn, should we start with you?
I'm slightly in awe of the 3-cent increase, I have to say, but otherwise, no, Michelle, I feel like this is really presented quite well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Katie?
Same. It all made as much sense as the stuff can possibly make sense to me.
Okay, and then I see a question, which I was going to ask as well, whether there's anything about this that we have to approve with respect to the possibility of short-term disability coverage. I know that's been discussed. Where are we with that?
We
Oh, Michelle,
Michelle, you're muted.
Michelle, you muted yourself.
okay.
Go ahead.
There you go.
Thank you. We do have a quote for short-term disability. In order to have that, we need to receive, I believe, 20% of our employees enroll. They gave us a number of 32. It is employee paid, so we were going to put out a survey to see who would be interested in that coverage. And then if there is interest, it was going to come to the board to approve offering that plan.
Okay. So TBD.
Yes.
Okay, and in the works. I appreciate the clarity of all this, Michelle, and I appreciate you taking time to answer my questions ahead of time. So what I'm, which is a very, very modest way of just celebrating the clarity of this recommendation. But inside, I'm just cheering very loudly. I appreciate it. So what I'm seeing is a recommendation, if we do what you're recommending, we're approving the 2 Anthem plans. We're approving EBC as the administrator for that stuff. We're approving Delta for dental and vision. And we're approving National Insurance Services for long-term disability and life insurance, right?
That
I
is
think I got
correct.
that right. Okay, any questions or comments from visitors? Anything else? All right, so we've got a pending motion by Karn, second by Katie Avalos, to approve the recommended insurance plan for 25-26 as discussed and as set forth in the attached memorandum in the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
I saw Katie's mouth move and say aye. We can't hear you for some reason, and I also vote aye. Have I accurately reflected your vote, Katie?
Yes.
Okay, all right. All right, motion carries.
Carla, did you hear my vote?
I did, Karin. Thank
okay.
you. All were in favor. No one is opposed. And then
Oh.
there's, I'm sorry?
Just want to clarify, I got a Chris, I think Chris, is Chris Robinson on the call?
I don't see her. Oh, is Chris with us? Oh, Chris votes aye. Hi, Chris. I'm sorry. I didn't know you were with us.
Oh,
We know for sure that's oh, okay.
here, hang on a second. Let me see if I can.
That's true. It could be someone who is pretending to be Chris Robinson voting aye.
Well, let me just check something once and on the participants and see if I can figure out. Oh, here's Chris. Okay. Let me just promote her to a panelist just so we record that.
Hello, Chris.
Hi, sorry about that.
That's okay. Thanks so much for joining us. Were you able to take in the discussion?
I was, yes.
Okay, good, good. And you have voted aye in chat?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we still have a unanimous approval of this insurance plan. Okay, there's only one item left on this agenda.
Move to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion by Karin, second by Chris to adjourn. Before we take a vote, I want to say thank you to everyone for being flexible to be available. I want to say thank you to Anna and Michelle for once again providing incredibly clear, accessible information and for being responsive to questions from board members. All in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Aye. We are officially adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Michelle.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
If I can figure out how to leave.